Hello and welcome to Politics Today. I'm Farrukh Pitafi. Once again, we are going to talk about this situation in Afghanistan and what exactly is in store for the people of Afghanistan. At this moment, it is clear that Afghan Taliban are present in Kabul, on the streets of Kabul, although they have taken over the Afghan presidential palace. We haven't seen any statement of coming from them declaring themselves as the government. And on the other side, there is a unfolding humanitarian crisis going on the airport. 7 people have died so far, 2 of them clinging to a plane taking off and who actually fell to their deaths. That is a horrible situation. On the other side, 2 important meetings. One, Pakistan's NSC, National Security Committee of the Cabinet, met today, and there was a very clear emphasis on the need to create an inclusive government in Kabul. On the other side, we also just saw the UNSC meeting and Pakistan's permanent representative's reaction after that as well. During that meeting, the Secretary General of the United Nations actually pointed out that it is important, and at this moment he also pointed out that the UN operations have not been targeted by Taliban. So something seems to be holding Taliban back, and that actually gives you the hope that all-inclusive government creation might be possible. So we are going to talk about that as well, because there seems to be one discrepancy, and that is a serious one. The Doha office is very clear in talking about how to actually engage with the other political parties. But on the other side, when you talk about the people on the ground, the Taliban soldiers, they seem to be very young men, and it seems that they might be very, aggressive at times. But at this moment, this is the situation that I described. I'm going to actually introduce the guest today. It is Khalid Taimur Akram, who is Executive Director for Center for Global and Strategic Studies, Islamabad. Thank you very much, sir, for being part of the program. Afghanistan's future, what do you see is in store? And secondly, before coming to the program, you and I were discussing the Taliban's organogram. We understand that the Doha office and representation there are quite exposed to the diplomatic norms, but the organization is headed by Mullah Habatullah, who might not be that diplomatic. So who actually is going to call shots in coming days?
Yes, thank you very much. First of all, I will say that we have seen in last 24 hours that the Taliban in Afghanistan, who have taken over Kabul, they are absolutely quiet. So they are quiet because of 3 reasons. One, their main leadership is either sitting in Doha or in the neighboring countries negotiating some kind of settlement. 2, these Taliban are not the same version of Taliban which was before 9/11. They're very well educated, they know the international politics, and they are in the international politics. 3, they have, yesterday I have been hearing their announcements that they have announced, they have pardoned everybody, they have said the girls can go to school, and they are issuing very diplomatic statements which were not there before.
They, as in Doha office?
Yes, they are the
commanders on
not
ground.
The commanders on ground. Yeah. Commanders on ground are not issuing any kind of official statements.
No,
whatever.
There were reports. Arab Ward actually reported that children and women were stopped from going out in other parts, not in Kabul.
Not in Kabul, in other parts, yes. And most of the things which we are seeing are coming out of the social media which people are uploading over there from there. So yes, Maulvi Habatullah is their leader, and he is the former Chief Justice of the Taliban government, and since 2016 he has been calling the shots. Now we have to see that what kind of hierarchy which they are following. So it is their Amirul Mu'mineen, or their leader is Maulvi Habatullah Khunzada, and then he has 3 Naib Amirs. One is Sirajuddin Haqqani. Second is Mullah Muhammad Yaqub. Mullah Muhammad Yaqub is the son of Mullah Umar, and he is basically the operational commander on ground, who has been handling the who has been coordinating between various ethnic groups in all parts of Afghanistan for the takeover of various provinces. And then we have the most important man, who is Mullah Brother. Mullah Brother he is the co-founder of Taliban, and he is the political face of Taliban. He has been negotiating in Doha and all these things. Then there's yet another important person whom they call in Urdu like Ala Judge, or who is the one they call whenever they face the Taliban Shura, or they face any issue, they go to him for the judgment. His name is Mullah Abdul Hakim, and he was the head of the, and he is still the head of the Doha team, which is negotiating with various countries.
Right.
So this all hierarchy is right now divided into various countries, and they are negotiating. Like we saw the non-Pakhtun group visiting Pakistan. Similarly, the similar kind of groups, Taliban groups, are visiting Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and all other neighboring countries, and even Russia is talking to them. So they will take another 2 to 3 days to negotiate, and till then they have told the local leaders to control various areas. Like in Kabul, yesterday we saw on TV that various police force and other institutions, they ran away, and the Taliban, there was a vacuum,
and looting actually started, and after that Afghan Taliban.
So generally it is thought that it will take another 3 to 4 days, and by then the policy will be clear that what Taliban would want from the international community.
Right. If you want to build on that point about recognition, and how upon a government, whatever it is, will be treated by international community. If you want to add on this, please do. Legitimacy.
Yes, legitimacy is the basic requirement now for the Taliban government and for their leadership. One, this is the time when the regional powers have to play a role, and I have been saying this before also, that for this purpose, Shanghai Cooperation Organization can be one platform which can start playing an effective role. Presently, all the countries surrounding Afghanistan are part of Shanghai Cooperation Organization, may it be China, may it be Tajikistan, Uzbekistan.
With the exception of Iran.
No, Iran is also a dialogue partner.
Dialogue partner.
Yeah, that's not the main. And Afghanistan is also a dialogue partner of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. We are going to see that in next couple of days, Taliban will be negotiating more with the regional countries rather than the European Union and the Americans, because the response of the European Union is quite cold towards them. So they are now in the position of strength. So they would expect the world powers to respect them, and I would go with what our colleague Barrister Saif has said, that for the legitimacy, they have to act like a political party, and they have to be more of politician rather than being freedom fighters or fighter against any kind of force.
Guerrilla fighters.
Fighters. And in addition to that, they will be they have to talk to United Nations also, and this is the time maybe the United Nations Security Council or the United Nations General Assembly should invite a delegation of Taliban, and instead of Doha, I think the talk should now shift to a broader platform where they should prove that why they should be given legitimacy.
Kabul?
Yeah, Kabul maybe. And also there's one other thing, I think on that, Barrister Saif, since he's a lawyer, he can put more light on it. What I have read in the United Nations Charter, which was very initially written in late 40s, it is written that any group or any party controlling the major part of the country, United Nations has to accept that as the legitimate rulers of that area. Probably that was written in late 40s once the countries were evolving.
But in 1945,
yeah,
when
so,
it was
so in between 1945 and 1950, their constitution was made. So that thing is still there.
Yeah.
So as per going the UN norms, United Nations may have to accept them as a legitimate power in Afghanistan in times to come.
The day before yesterday and yesterday, Afghan Taliban actually ran over certain prisons. Out of one of those prisons, actually, one Mullah Fakir was reported to have been released. He's thought to be TTP's vice president, and he's over there at this moment. How to actually ensure that any element, any TTP element that is in Afghanistan is actually seized, handed over to Pakistan, and then the terrorist activities don't take place.
Yes, this is very important. We have seen that in last couple of days, Taliban have freed many prisoners from prisons across Afghanistan, and in that there are reports that the ISIS terrorists, Al-Qaeda terrorists and TTP terrorists who were jailed there, they are also freed. So now this is the time where Pakistan should be talking to them, to arrest all those people again and hand them over to Pakistan. Two, Taliban, this is going to be a very, very serious thing in front of the international community, that Taliban, for proving their legitimacy, they have to act on this. They have to be ensuring that all the foreign fighters who are present on the Afghan soil, may it be from any part of the world, they should be held in prisons and they should not be freed. Yes,
and handed over to Pakistan.
And handed over to Pakistan if they are, if they belong to Pakistan, if they belong to any other country, they should be handed over.
Right. This was today's program. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.